Live from GCW's Broadcasting Center in New York City, it's GC News.
Welcome to GC News at 7. I'm John.
And I'm Hurst26. And here are tonight's top stories.
Reports from Beijing and China say that they are planning to push through laws that will be used to extend China's ownership of Hong Kong ever since its claim in 1997. Zhang Yisui, spokesperson for China's National People's Congress, told journalists today that Hong Kong is an inseparable part of the People's Republic of China. In light of recent circumstances, the NPC is exercising power enshrined in China's constitution to uphold the institutional framework of one country, two systems, end quote. These laws explain that Hong Kong will keep their administrative and economic policies and preserve their civil liberties until 2047, despite it being a part of China for 50 years. This push to pass a national security law may well start more protests, but may be halted due to the coronavirus pandemic in Hong Kong recently.
Actress Lori Loughlin and her husband, fashion designer Massimo Giannulli, have agreed to plead guilty to conspiracy charges in connection to their role in the college admissions scam. The U.S. Attorney's Office in the District of Massachusetts said Lori, the 55-year-old Loughlin, and 56-year-old Giannulli have been accused of paying $500,000 to get their two daughters into the University of Southern California as fake crew team recruits. They had pleaded not guilty for more than a year and had moved to dismiss charges as recently as 2 weeks ago. As part of the plea agreement, Loughlin will be sentenced to 2 months in prison, and Giannulli will be sentenced to 5 months in prison, subject to the court's approval. According to authorities, additionally, Loughlin faces a $150,000 fine, 2 years of supervised release, 100 hours community service, and Giannulli faces a $250,000 fine, 2 years of supervised release, and 250 hours of community service. They are scheduled to plead guilty on Friday at 11:30 a.m., said the prosecutors.
After numerous controversies with the president and vice president refusing to wear a mask, the spread of the virus in the White House itself, and numerous other COVID-19 hijinks, Michigan Attorney General Dana Nessel made a statement about Trump when it was reported that he will be visiting a Ford Motor plant in Ypsilanti, Michigan. Quote, honestly, if you feel facility inside our state, said Nessel in an interview. We are unsure whether Trump will decide to wear a mask, but he has said many times in the past that he prefers not to wear a mask. He was also not seen wearing a mask when going to other factories in Arizona and Pennsylvania, for example. Nessel was warned of taking legal action against Trump if the president does not wear a form of face covering. She's also stated, quote, I know that Ford has asked him to do the same thing, but if we know that he's coming to our state, and we know he's not going to follow the law, I think we're going to have to take action against any company or any facility that allows them inside those facilities and put our workers at risk. We simply can't.
A shooting that injured one security guard at the Naval Air Station Corpus Christi in Texas on Thursday has been determined to be terrorism-related. FBI officials said the shooter, who has not been identified, was shot dead, but a second person of interest may be at large, the FBI said. The public should remain calm, and if you see something, say something. So FBI officials said the shooting unfolded at about 6:15 a.m. local time when the suspect sped through a gate, activating vehicle barriers which stopped the vehicle, a defense official told ABC News. The driver then got out of the car and began shooting before being neutralized, the defense official said. We have determined that this incident is definitely, this morning at Naval Air Station Corpus Christi, terrorism-related, said Lee Greaves of the FBI. They are working diligently with local, state, and federal partners on the investigation, which is fluid and evolving. The security guard suffered minor injuries and was released from the hospital, Navy officials said.
And now let's get a look of your national weather.
Welcome back to GC News. Here are some of the latest. Victoria's Secret is closing 250 stores and shopping centers, malls, and other locations in the United States and Canada. This news comes as the lingerie giant continues to see a plummet in sales during the coronavirus pandemic. On a call with analysts, Victoria's Secret CEO Stuart Bergdorfer said, "What we see is a somewhat smaller but substantially more profitable business with a much better foundation, and then obviously a return to growth, which is what all of us are looking for." With these closures, the brand's parent company, L Brands, will eliminate 22% of the company's 1,091 stores, in addition to 1.26 million square feet of real estate. We would expect to have a meaningful number of additional store closures beyond the 250 that we're pursuing this year, meaning there will be more in 2021 and possibly a bit more in 2022. So we try it again. Bath and Body Works, another label under the mass retailer, will close 50 stores nationwide and in one in Canada.
Companies are going through tough times, as many people have been saying indoors instead of working, which has led to temporary and permanent closures across the globe. It's reported that over 2.4 million Americans have filed for unemployment just this week, bringing a 9-week total to 38.6 million people left without a job during the coronavirus. This number is just only 3 million less from the 6 million people who signed up for unemployment in March during the big wave of coronavirus. The initial rate of unemployment filing has steadily declined 7 weeks in a row. Daniel Zhang, senior economist for the job site Glassdoor, stated that, quote, "In only 9 weeks, unemployment claims made during the coronavirus crisis have already exceeded the 37 million claims made over the entire 18 months of the Great." While recent indicators show the initial steep job declines are slowing, the labor market remains at a deep hole it will have to climb out of, end quote. Despite the increasing number of cases, states are deciding to reopen parts of the country in an effort to bring back jobs and business.
A former Florida high school teacher was sentenced to 12 years in prison for sexually abusing students after the judge ignored his request to be castrated instead. Mark Lua, 32 years old, told Circuit Judge Tom Danheiser on Wednesday that he wanted to raise his daughter and would volunteer for castration if that would spare him from a prison sentence. The Pensacola News-Journal reported the former English teacher at Booker T. Washington High School in Pensacola last year to promoting a sexual performance by a child, unlawful sexual, 2 counts of unlawful sexual activity with minors. Prosecutors say he sexually assaulted an 18-year-old former student, had sex with an underage student, and coerced another to send him a sexually explicit video. "My actions were despicable," Lewis said. "I do believe that punishment is necessary, and I am requesting chemical castration, not only as a punishment, but as an act of solidarity to show how sorry I am for everything. If your honor is so inclined, I'm even willing to undergo physical castration, if that way I can stay home and raise my daughter." Judge Danheiser ignored the request before issuing his sentence. Prosecutor Aaron Ambrose targeted vulnerable girls. He seemed to seek out girls that came from unstable or troubled homes, Ambrose said. He betrayed them because he was a teacher.
Yikes. If you missed going to Macy's during this pandemic, then have no fear. Macy's CEO says it plans to open up all 775 of its locations within 6 to 8 weeks. These reopenings have already been going underway, starting in low coronavirus hotspots such as Georgia, Texas, South Carolina, and more. Jeff Jeanette, Macy's chief executive, said that they expect their reopening of stores will bring around 15 to 20% of their typical business at first, and then they will, quote, slowly build from. When asked if shoppers will return, he replied, quote, we'll see how they respond, and based on that, we'll be a lot smarter. So I'm going to know a lot more by Tuesday of next week. Stores will also be practicing the rules of social distancing, plexiglass barriers will be installed for cashiers, and hand sanitizer stations will be placed all around the store. Simeon Siegel, managing director at BMO Capital Markets, said that over the last several years, the way stores fought back against online was to suggest that the experience was worth the trip. In this new normal for now, the experience is what puts you at risk. So it falls to the retailers to figure out how to create a socially distanced experience that makes your trip worth the inconvenience. And
coming up later on GC News, find out how a 10-year-old girl is making a difference during these hard times.
And learn how the U.S. is securing the country's COVID-19 vaccines. And we'll be right back.
Welcome back once again to GC News. A 10-year-old girl has single-handedly managed to give the gift of art and joy to more than 1,500 kids in foster care and homeless shelters during the COVID-19 shutdowns. Chelsea Fair is the mastermind behind Chelsea's Charity, a nonprofit that she started with her parents back in August 2019 as a means of donating children. Since she was 7, she was begging me and her dad to start a charity, Chelsea's mom, Candace Fair, told CNN. She was so persistent, every couple of months she would ask, "Are we starting Chelsea's Charity yet?" Yet when she was turning 10, she asked us again. We decided it was time to go for it. As a means of her birthday, Chelsea asked people to give her art supplies instead of birthday gifts. After the initial batch of donations helped supply several dozen art kits for children in need, Chelsea continued her efforts by collecting supplies for the kits through her charity's Amazon wish list. The tenacious 6th grader from Danbury, Connecticut, has since donated hundreds upon hundreds of art kits to homeless shelters, women's shelters, and schools impacted by gun violence in 12 U.S. states. Each of the kits are filled with crayons, gel pens, coloring books, paper, and colored pencils. Although the COVID-19 shutdowns prevented the youngster from handing out the kits in person, she made an additional 1,500 art kits since quarantine began.
World powers are scrambling for a solution to the coronavirus pandemic but the U.S. has already taken control of the situation in a certain way. The United States has secured a third of the first 1 billion doses planned for AstraZeneca's experimental COVID-19 vaccine by offering $1.2 billion to the company. After Trump demanded for a vaccine, the U.S. Department of Health and Services agreed to provide up to $1.2 billion to British drug maker AstraZeneca and secure at least 300 million doses for the country. U.S. Health Secretary Alex Azar said that, quote, "This contract with AstraZeneca is a major milestone in Operation Warp Speed's work toward a safe, effective, widely available vaccine by 2021, end quote. AstraZeneca has also planned to send 100 million doses to Britain, with just 30 million as soon as September. They also say Britain will have first access to the vaccine when it is released.
It's sweeps time on television. All TV shows will have their fates determined during this time of the year. And we're happy to report the revival of the iconic game show Who Wants to Be a Millionaire has been renewed for a second season on ABC. No other information has been given regarding casting and future tapings as of this broadcast, but we will certainly provide new information as it comes to us.
Due to the increasing amount of climate change, snow in Antarctica appears to be turning green, which is created by blooming algae. Satellite data that was gathered back in 2017 and 2019 allowed scientists to map the algae as they bloomed over the Antarctic continent. It is said that warmer temperatures allow algae to create more habitable environments, which need wet snow to grow. As the algae begins to grow, the snow begins to turn bright green and can even be seen from space. The Antarctic Peninsula is reported to have the most rapid warming during the past whole century, which may be a big cause for the algae. Dr. Andrew Gray, researcher at Cambridge University, says that, quote, "As Antarctica warms, we predict the overall mass of snow algae will increase, as the spread to higher ground will significantly outweigh the loss of small island patches of algae," end quote. And has also stated the distributions of the organisms is related to bird populations, as their waste serves as a fertilizer for algae to grow. Researchers are still investigating on how to prevent such a weird phenomenon, and more information on the subject.
Coming up, Quirk's Days of Day.
We'll be right back. Dang.
Welcome back to GC News, and now it's time for everybody's favorite segment. It's time for Quirk's Day of Days, but unfortunately, because of some unforeseen circumstances, Quirk had so much to drink. JohnnyZillion has elected to take over for Quirk's Day of Days, so not Quirk Jeremy. Go on ahead.
Okay, so first of all, I don't have a hat because my hat screen is going to blend up with the green screen. You know, I wanted to resort to a pink screen, but we didn't have that. Anyways, I literally, I'm not really too experienced with this whole Day of Days thing, so I'm currently searching on my phone to find out what's so great about May 21st. One of the things, Notorious Big, one of the famous birthdays, Biggie Smalls, Tom Daly, Jack Payne, Ariana Lopez, great people. Gautier, the guy who sang Somebody That I Used to Know. Mr. T, everyone knows Mr. T. If you don't, that's King Bo. I have no idea who that guy is. Malik. And I have no idea who these people are. There's like 50 names on this list, and I have no idea of like any of them. Okay, let's search up. What is so important about... I literally just got informed I'm doing this 20 seconds ago. Yes, we got to search up the holiday list. Of course, Ascension Day, Eat More Fruits and Vegetables Day, Emergency Medical Services Day, End of the World, the Rapture Party Day, how fun, National Strawberries and Cream Day, National Waiters and Waitresses Day, Red Nose Day, that's also cool, World Day for Cultural Diversity, for Dialogue and Development. And it's also Emergency Medical Services Week. Wow, what great timing. Is all right. Also Gemini season. What is Gemini season? It's the season of the
Gemini right. Season is actually
good for the job for them. Gemini, the zodiac Gemini, not the actual Gemini, the zodiac Gemini. All right. So, okay. So that is that. What else are we? What else am I going to talk about? Oh yeah, the Steam games. Half-Life, Team Fortress 2, Counter-Strike. Not in that order. It's definitely not in that order. I'm just saying that. Grand Theft Auto. Go buy Grand Theft Auto. Oh wait, no, it ends today. Go get Grand Theft Auto 3. It's your last day to get it. All right, I'm gonna go pass it over to Kyle at the desk because I can't do this for as long.
Remember almost 10 years ago when the Rapture thing was like predicted, and then like maybe a month after it was supposed to happen, the guy who predicted it had like a stroke.
Oh yeah, Harold Camping, I think.
Yeah, and then he like died the next year or two later. I guess his rapture was coming. Anyway, that's the news for now. Tune in tomorrow night at 9 for more GC News, the night before Memorial Day. So I would say get your barbecues going, get your charcoal, get your burgers, get your hot dogs and everything. And for JohnnyZillion and the rest of our team, I'm Hurst26 saying it's...
Also, message of the day. You can't predict the rapture using mathematical equations. It's impossible. Also, send a note to God. Guess you're all committed sins right now. Put me for Hollywood.